3 seconds to try a shot and try to win the game.
This is the Notebook Wagering Show on the Wylde Style Network. Here are your hosts, Q, Smitty, Matt, and JKam.
Hey, it's Wednesday night. We got the whole team here tonight, live from the Salisbury Center, fueled by Monster Energy. We got Q down in Myrtle Beach. I think he's been laying on a raft most of the day. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
That's it. I almost got on this raft shirtless back there, but I didn't know if it was good for broadcasting. So it's good here in North Myrtle Beach. Weather's great. I don't like South Carolina for the fact that you can't bet, but here we are.
Very true.
Man, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that state. Get out of that state. That's horrible.
Get this state fixed. We need gambling here. It's good.
They literally said that will be like the third least state to ever go.
Well, that needs to be sooner.
Utah and Idaho. Do you know why there?
Yeah.
All right. We also got the guys up from Pittsburgh really quick. Let's bounce into it. Jason, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Good, ready to turn the seasons here. We're pretty close. Trade deadline's over for baseball. It means the Pirates season is effectively over. The camp has started. So it's time to do the college football study.
There you go. Maddie, what's happening tonight?
Yeah, baseball ready to roll. I mean, I got to see the Pirates-Phillies the other night. Took in a game, horrible performance. Well, not a horrible performance, but the outcome was a little lackluster. But still a great ballpark and ready to talk a little baseball. Let's do it.
Okay, let's dive in. We got a couple games here tonight. I had one bet this afternoon. The Brewers did not do it. Then those Nats got me again, man. Fighting real late in that. Got, I think, 2 or 3 in the bottom of the ninth and got me there. So what can you do? All right, here, let's try to get some winners tonight. We gave out some plays last week, and that last week card was crazy. There were some wild games that we were playing. You had Lance Lynn still there with the Cubs. That game got crazy. And then that Texas Astros game was really, really high scoring. But let's get into it. We got a 745. So if you are ready to bet, we are always ready to bet here at Notebook Wagering here. You got the Twins playing the Cardinals. You got Ryan against Hudson. Now, I'm going off my note card, guys. So, again, you guys, I don't have a computer in front of me here. So, Jason, if you have one, you can update some of these lines if you guys have it. But I had the Twins about minus 134 money line. Over-under was at 9, if that has not changed. The only thing that's a little – Hudson doesn't seem like he's been pitching a lot. It seemed like maybe he's like a bullpen arm that's now starting because – you know, the Cardinals did trade some people, and we'll talk trade deadline here in a couple minutes. But is anybody on this game tonight? Maddie, let's start with you. Any likes in this one?
I like the over. It dropped down to 8.5, so I'm going to ride the over. Give me that. I believe it's probably minus 117. Joe Ryan, who I love, but his ERA is not impressive. Struggled recently, and Hudson's the same. So they both have a 4.1 ERA. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and give me the over, a little heat wave, get the ball jumping.
Anybody else on this? Q, got anything on this one?
No, you're down to minus 125 here on the Twins. I think I'm going to take the Cardinals here plus 105. Both teams' offense is playing pretty good last month, but Ryan, like you said, the FIP 529 over the last 30 days. That's not good. And that Twins team, I don't have a lot of faith in them anyway. Cardinals are now unburdened by who's going to be there and who's not. Give me the Redbirds.
Okay, let's go to another game here. This is a big one. I mean, this is Reds, Cubs. Cubbies are playing fantastic. Now, I did see Stroman did just go to the IL late this afternoon. But this is a big one here. Cubs last night really put it on the Reds. You got, I think, Williamson against, I think it's Smiley that goes tonight for the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped on this game. I'm going to do the run line tonight. I got the run line with the Reds. I like teams that are coming off a really bad performance. And if you look at Smiley, he's 8-7, 4.50 ERA. But if you look at the home ERA, 5.94. So I'm going to try to take a chance here, and you give me the plus 1.5, and it's minus 140. I really like that tonight. So I played that. I'm on the Reds tonight. Is anybody else on? Any thoughts on this game?
What's the over in this game?
11.
And that's kind of skyrocketed here. It's kind of gone up all afternoon, Q, on this. It's kind of jumped throughout the day, I think.
Conditions at Wrigley then must be really favorable for home runs if that's the case. Yeah, 8 miles an hour blowing out to left. So yeah.
And I'm sure it's hot. So
now
I guess sitting on a 6.5 game, which is very realistic. Like you said, Smiley's throwing a mid-5 ERA. Decent offense. I mean, the Cubs are playing really good ball late. They kind of started off hot. They had May and June where they kind of cooled off a little bit, and then they kind of struck fire again. And then you look at their trade deadline. They were buyers, and for a team, I need them to win 77 games. That's here nor there. They're not going to win a World Series, and it seemed like they're really making a play for it. So, I like the Cubs on this one, but I think the over could get there. They are a good hitting team, and like I said, who'd have thought Bellinger was going to bat as well as he has all season? He's had a couple good seasons, 2 bad seasons, and now he's back to vintage Bellinger. So I think the team's playing hot. I think they're motivated right now. I think they scored some runs. I think you could actually get over that 11 with relative ease.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know it's a scary number, but these last 5 games these guys have played, 3-1-1 to the over of 11. So, they've put up some runs here. Last night, obviously, 29 runs. So, the Cubbies scored 20, but give up 9. Not a great story. So, I'll take the over here. I'll go with you, Q.
Smitty, I don't have anything on this one. As soon as JKam and Smitty JKam and Q put bets in on this, that over is going to go to 11.5. You know what their big spending is put down.
Man, the lone wolf not going to do anything.
It's not like a shot, but I'm sure it was a compliment.
He's going to do this. He's going to do the wagers like at Iowa State quarterback. He's going to just play it out a little bit here. That's all good. So,
like an Iowa kicker.
Iowa kicker too. Yeah, maybe we have time to talk about that. All right, let's go 8:05, man. Again, we love winning money, and we're going to try to win you money. And if you are watching us and you have any questions with the games tonight, please let us know. You got the White Sox playing Texas here. I jumped on this game here. You got Cease. I'm really surprised that he's still there. Probably doesn't want to be there, but he's there against Texas. And Texas really has to get this going, I think. They got to, they added some pieces here, and I like what Texas did. I like what the Astros, but I think that Astros team's really going to come on here and maybe take this division here. But you got Dunning against Cease. Dunning 5-1, 3.52 ERA at home. Cease is 3-1, 4.03 ERA, but I did jump on this. Let me see what I got this. I got this a little bit ago on my side. I got Texas. I'm laying minus 155, but I kind of feel good about Texas tonight. Anybody else want to join me and join the dark side and take Texas tonight? Q's bouncing his head, and I don't think that means that we're going to jump on a raft together and float around down there in Myrtle. Q, you on board with that game?
Yeah, I love Texas. Dane Dunning is a Florida.
He's taking it. He's on it.
He had to do it. We talked anytime Florida players play, we got to take them because they're winners. In all seriousness, hide the shirt because obviously we see Dane Dunning is a good pitcher. He was a setup guy at Florida. He was always a starter. We're seeing him kind of blossom into his own now. He's been in the league 3 or 4 years. Texas is there to win a World Series, right? They kind of pushed all the chips in. They got Scherzer. He's a good leader on and off the field. They've got the offense. You mentioned it, like Dylan Cease. He's a great pitcher, but you get 2 different great pitchers. You get the one who's motivated because you're in a run, and then you get he's just raw, great talent who doesn't want to be there. The team's terrible. They have nothing to play for. I actually think we're probably getting a bargain with Texas at minus 155, in my opinion.
All right.
I'm going the other way. I'm going to take White Sox first 5 with Cease. He's really well. Huh? I was with you last time. Now I'm going against you. I'm hating on Florida. I'm getting ready for college football. No, I'm going to Dane Dunning's number is really not that great over the last month. Cease's numbers are really good. Both teams are decent against right-handed pitching. So, yeah, give me the nice little plus 105 for the first 5. I can totally see the Rangers coming back against that a little questionable White Sox bullpen.
I like when we go against each other. Makes the show a little bit more interesting. Maddie.
I'm going to go different here. I don't like the line of the game or anything these two turkeys are talking about, but give me Adolis Garcia over half of an RBI tonight, plus 110.
Ooh, a little play prop. I like
Please.
that. Man, again, you tune in, we're giving you totals, we're giving you money line, we're giving you player props. What other show on a Wednesday night's doing that right now at 7:39?
Prop that
Probably Sports Grid.
I've got a player I've been really well. I need to start posting it. Josh Jung for that team. You put him with like one or two other guys to record a hit. That guy's, I mean, he's just nailing bets for me. The guy, I mean, yeah, they got Marcus Simeon and Corey Seager, but don't forget about Jung. I mean, that guy is up and coming. He is a legit force in that 6-7 hole for that team, and that just tells you how deep that lineup is. Start running those over half hits. You know, you start getting into Acuna and them over 1.5, but you start parlaying a couple guys and you get some decent odds. You get like plus 250 and you can win some money. But Josh Jung's definitely a guy that I've been kind of backing lately and succeeding with.
All right. Great info there. Okay, next game, 8-10. We got the Mets traveling to the hot Kansas City. 4 in a row. Man, the Mets. I'm so mad at the Mets. I had them best bet down, then they came back, took the lead, and then it was tied, and then they were up again, and then I don't even think I think they balked the winning run in last night. I went 5-1. 5-1 last night, but my best bet on the site I lost with the stupid Mets, so I'm not happy with the Mets. I don't know who's this. Singa 7-5, 3.17 against I think it's Riggins, 2-3, 5.22 ERA. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this Mets team, and I'll say this, you know, I put it in on the site with Sharp Angle Syndicate yesterday, and it was just one of those. After I did it, I was like, oh, man, this might not be good, because you knew they were going to trade a bunch of people, and you're just like, is this Mets team going to just tank now? Is this just going to be a bad? And then they were winning, and they just couldn't do it. So I'm off this game tonight. There's nothing. Again, Kansas City's won 4 in a row. I don't even have advice on this game. I'm so bitter with the Mets. Anybody have anything for our audience with this game?
Smitty, just don't be a quitter.
I'm
That's not just you're better than that. You've actually said it though. Royals are hot. Take them with the 1.5 runs on the run line at minus 120.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I mean, again, we talk about this. This is like an after school, like it's that peer pressure. Go to the dance. Maybe have a cocktail before the dance, and let's do it. So I'll throw a little bit on there. I'll jump on there with you, Maddie, on that one. Anybody else when I put this in?
Here comes Jason the poo-poo.
Yeah.
I want to be the poo-poo. No, I mean, getting 1.5 is nice, because I don't think teams are going to score. Neither one hits the other hand very well. And Senga's been really good, actually, the last month. And Reagan's only looks like he only had one start, but it was decent. So you got to wonder what's you're going to get out of the Mets from effort for the rest of the season, and the Royals just stink anyway. So I kind of lean toward the under. I'm not going to take it, though, but, I mean, 1.5 is going to go far.
I did a small bet on that, Maddie. I did the run line plus the 1.5 Royals. Good job. Way to twist my arm. I like it.
All right, I'll join you.
Okay, let's go. Come on, let's fire all night. Wednesday night, let's go. Q, jump on that raft right now and put a bet in with the Kansas City Royals. Let's go.
Drive down to Georgia.
You can.
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah. Drive down to Georgia. That's right. Yeah. Oh, man. All right, where are we at here? That's 8:10. 9:45. Again, there's some great Nick at Night stuff if you want to watch at. But we got Arizona playing San Francisco. This is Webb for the Giants. 8-9, has a 3-something ERA. I had a question mark for Arizona on my one side. I did not know who was going to get the start here tonight. Jay, anybody on the starter for Arizona?
Shane Ciccone, I believe, is getting the start for Arizona. I don't believe he's started this year.
Okay.
He's not.
Okay. I was going to say.
It's a state. You just don't know what you're going to get from Webb and Ciccone, obviously. He's had a couple of decent starts. He struggled for a little while. He did have a decent start heading into the All-Star break. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't tell you what he did in his most recent start after the All-Star break. But it's two weird teams.
Well, I will throw this out really quick. This is 20 to 25 miles per hour winds, but this is not a ballpark. the wind, sometimes you're like, wow, it's really blowing out. It should be high scoring. And sometimes it doesn't, just with the ballpark. But they did say 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, maybe higher at the game tonight. So I think I did. Did I take an over in this? Let me see. No, I thought I did. I did not.
Over.
I did not. The over didn't really move. It was 8, I think, from the morning, and I think it was still 8 most of the day. So there's not a lot. If you read the conditions, you would have thought it would have bounced around a little bit. Is it still at 8, guys?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't like when there's not a lot of movement.
Nah. Especially not with, when you get wind like that, no movement, I don't like that.
Yeah. Anybody, any thoughts on this? Any action?
I don't want to lay 175 with Webb, that offense. D-backs have been a little bit better on the road with their offense lately. So Ciccone, though, his numbers at AAA, not exactly great. So he's kind of getting the emergency call up here. I want to pass, but I would definitely lean Giants.
I don't have anything on it. I did write down the over as well, Smitty, at minus 117. That was a while ago. It all depends. The new guys for Arizona, like Tommy Pham, they basically traded for because he's great against lefties. He's not facing a lefty, so I don't know. The over even scares me. I think this is a true stay away tonight.
Yeah, all the numbers I write down from some of the sites I look at, they had it like right there, like 7.5, right at the 8. I just don't. Yeah, with the wind, you would think this would have got up to about 8.5, 9. And like I said, reading about the ballpark, even with the wind out, they just said sometimes it doesn't really affect a lot of things like you would think, like in Wrigley or some of the other ballparks. So I'm going to stay off of it too.
Yeah, it's right on the bay, so we get the really heavy air in California, so ball just doesn't travel at night there.
Let's move on. This game's a waste.
All right. Hey, our favorite, we got our last game of the night. You got Oakland playing the Dodgers. Hogan Harris, everybody. I see he gets, wasn't that our fan favorite last week? Sounded like a pro wrestler with Barry O. Now, last week, Jason, he didn't start. He came in, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, he was the follower.
All right. I mean, it's
this week he's the leader.
It's tough to go against my guy, Hogan Harris. I'm going to stay off. I mean, again, I'd look at run line. Dodgers, again, they can score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
I would probably do run line. If you want to take something late, I would probably stay off this game. But I do like Hogan Harris.
Yeah. Dodgers are like 545 slugging for the last month against left-handed pitching. So, not a great matchup for Hogan here, who also sounds like a PGA golfer who would be competing this week to try to make the top 70. I think I could lay in the run line is probably not the worst idea here.
All right. Everybody else a pass on that?
Yeah.
I think if you're chasing money tonight, you maybe grab a late night beer, sit down and hope for a home run bashing show here on old Hogan Harris. And maybe play the over on this one.
Okay. Overplay. There you go. Watch Golden Girls and play the over in the Dodgers game, and we're good to go. I love it. All right. Hey, let's keep going. Major League talk. We got a lot. We're going to bounce Major League trade talk. We're going to hit the golf. We're going to get into the Hall of Fame game and try to get a winner in the preseason for you tomorrow night. Football starts, and we're going to try to do some Heisman talk here. So we're going to go fast here. Overall, guys, I'm going to just bounce around the table here with you guys. Any big winner, any big loser, what were you surprised about the trade deadline? I'm going to go with Maddie first. Anything that surprised you liked, or did you just was like shocked on a team that didn't do anything? What do you have, Maddie?
Wow. So I think I don't see a real winner by people trading, but I definitely think there's some real losers from people who didn't do anything, like the Reds. I mean, they have all the momentum. They have this young core who's fun, and they went out and they got no one. They got no pitchers, which they need. And I think that's like a buzzkill. But and then at the same time, another team, a big name team, the Yankees, I think they just totally choked away what they were doing. And now they're scuffling even more. I texted you guys. I think Boone's a prime candidate to get the axe here by season end or definitely at the end of the year. But Smitty, I don't see any winners. If I had to put a winner out there, I think it's Verlander going to the Astros, the biggest move. I hate the Astros. I hate what they did. They're going to be in it again. It's nauseating to watch these guys, but I think there's more losers than there are winners. And I'd throw the Rangers in there, but I don't want to steal people's airtime, so I'll let you guys fire away next.
All right, Q, what do you got? Who's the winner? Who's the big loser in the trade deadline yesterday?
I think the Astros are a winner. I think you get Verlander. He's won, 2 rings with you. You gave a Drew Gilbert. Kid's very unorthodox. They had to straighten some stuff out for him. He was the number 1 prospect. The number 4 is solid, too. But you're going to guy who's a Hall of Famer. He's coming back to win you essentially a World Series now versus, in 3-4 years. So I think they won. I would say my most perplexed or most confusing trade was the Cubs Nationals with Candelario going to the Cubs. I didn't understand that. When I look at the Cubs lineup, I don't see Bellinger. If I'm not mistaken, Bellinger is only on a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. I don't see them re-signing him. The year he had, he's going to command over $100 million. I just don't see them giving that up. So I was confused why he wasn't, part of a trade. But then you go get Candelario as if you're going to make this great run, win the Central, go ahead to the World Series. I just didn't see it. So to give up, now granted, they didn't give up, top 10 prospects, but they gave up guys with decent potential who have had somewhat decent minor league outings. It just seemed weird to me. You're a team that's playing 500 ball. I don't know what made you think that just because you're going to win a weak NL Central this year makes you a contender. So that was my most confusing. And then I think the loser, like Matt said, will be the Reds. The Reds had so much momentum, with De La Cruz. You got Joey Votto back, who's starting to hit the ball well. I just thought I would have seen them go for kind of that Max Scherzer, that Justin Verlander to really put that team over the top. And they just didn't do it. And it was weird.
All right, Jason, what do you got? Winner, loser yesterday with the trade deadline?
I'll actually say the Mets are kind of winners. Now, no one will say that, but they've really got some really good prospects here for moving those guys. And they freed up a ton of cash to go spend next year. It's not like they're a small market team that kind of cleared the decks and, boy, we were overspending there for a while. They just basically freed up cap room to go out and get, pitching to go address that next year. Suddenly they've got a lot of young players that are kind of right there. One of those outfielders is really close. I don't know if Clifford is. And also, I would call it Acuna's brother, another good player that they got in the first trade. So they set themselves up pretty nicely. I think the Orioles kind of missed a chance to make a splash move. I would have liked to have seen them get one of the big pitchers. I understand not breaking up the farm system, but the one lesson I'll say is that from the Pirates' nice little run there in the early 2010s was that you can't wait till next year if you're a small market or a smaller market, because you don't know if it'll be there. You don't know if you'll somehow get knocked off in a wild card game 2 years in a row after you probably should have made all chips in the first year, which can happen a lot. And that would be my only warning there. And I'd have the same warning for the Reds is if you're this close this late in the season, you got to go for it. You can't be that conservative unless your farm system is just ridiculously stacked. And the Orioles is, the Reds isn't. So kind of a mistake there, but it's gonna be interesting. I thought the Phillies could have did a little more. I think obviously they're not going to win their division, but they're going to be good in the wild card. I think a couple other teams that are kind of underneath the radar should have did a little more. And I think the Pirates should have sold more. I think, Bednar is not going to have a better year than this, and you could have got a lot for him. Mitch Keller, he doesn't like the first extension offer you gave him. He's a guy, he's really a 1-year wonder. I don't want to say that. I don't want to jinx it, but he really kind of is. And that's a team that really seemed like the Orioles and the Pirates. I thought that trade actually might happen because that seemed like a good alignment where you get a younger player, you get a couple years of control. You give up maybe a prospect who's a little further behind than Keller is, maybe like a DL Hall, something like that. But didn't really happen. So I think the Pirates, they did good at getting rid of some of their own vets and getting some lottery tickets. But I really think they could have made more of an impact because it didn't seem like anybody wanted to get rid of anybody. And when that happens, I think that's when you need to make trades.
How dare you say the Phillies didn't do enough? They brought in Mr. Cell Phone himself. He stole third or slid in the third with a cell phone in his pocket.
That guy's a good lottery ticket.
He might. That's a little league park, man. That guy can hit some bombs. Now, if he just hits right-handed,
he can turn a fastball, man.
I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I just wanted to stress that he still plays.
I kind of like that trade for both teams. I think it's two guys that could come in. Pirates need arms. That guy can come in and eat some innings. I think the Phillies got to. I like what the Phillies did with the guy from the Tigers. Again, I've been bragging up the Phillies the last 2 weeks on the show. I like where the Phillies are going direction-wise. I wrote down I like the Astros, and I just think the Astros, again, are just a team that's in the right direction. Texas scuffling a little bit, but I like what Texas did. I agree with you guys a lot. A lot of the teams that you guys said I had down. The Reds were my number one team that, what are you doing? Why didn't you go do something? And I have a ticket on you to win this division, so please win it. I mean, it's a good number. A little pizza money to win some money. I love it. But why didn't you go do anything? The pitching's not good. There was some arms out there. Go get it. I mean, I understand Green. I don't know what his injury is to come back when they might get him. And, you can look at people like that and say, okay, that's like a trade. We get him back and we add him back to the rotation, and that's great. I have the Yankees also. Yankees were, it's a head scratcher to me with the Yankees. We've had Will Hill on our show many times, and he talks about it. The son is not the father because Big George is probably rolling around in his grave. 3.5 games out of the wild card, and you're sitting there doing nothing. I had Boston, another team, right there, playing well, and you might not want to mess everything up. I get it. But you didn't do anything? Twins. That division. We've talked about that division all summer. Cleveland gets rid of Josh Bell, and you get a minor league guy. And then the guy, they released the other guy. Who was what was his name? He played for the Phillies. They released him today. They got in that deal already. What's his name? What was that?
Gene Segura.
Gene Segura.
Yeah. They were already. So those are teams. I was just shocked. And like you guys said, there was teams that you were just like, I don't understand. Like the Giants didn't do anything. And I'm sorry. The Dodgers, we talked last Wednesday. Lance Lynn was your big pickup. Now, he did throw the other day and gave up 3 runs, and maybe he's going to pitch better there. Good veteran, and you can add in, but it's like, where was the splash? And, I'm going to say Baltimore, too, and we talked about this. Jack Flaherty went there, and I said it wasn't bad. Jason said, I don't like it, and a couple. I'm kind of right on the fence, because I think the guy is going to be okay, but it wasn't a big splash. And the same thing, you're like, what's Baltimore waiting for? You haven't been a winner for years.
I think they just farm system so much.
And but here's the thing. You can and I listen, being a Pirate fan, you love prospects. It's always like, we got prospects, and that's great. Well, but if you have a chance to win, and that now they're starting, they just promoted a guy, and I saw some people right on Twitter, they're like, where's he going to play? There's no positions on the major league team. You can get all the prospects you want. And they said it on one of the shows today. Maybe it was Major League Baseball channel. And the one guy said, Flaherty's okay. I think he'll a piece, but he goes, you have a draft next year. You have a draft the following year. Yeah. You give it up and then you try to restock and you go for it. And I think those two teams, I do give a little bit of credit for Baltimore. At least they went and got some type of arm. I think he's going to be okay. Is it a superstar? I don't think it's the superstar. Go ahead, Q. You want to chime in?
Yeah, I was just saying, at least with Flaherty, he does have playoff experience. He actually has pitched somewhat decent in the playoffs. He just had no run support. It could have been worse for them. I do agree they probably could have made a bigger splash, but in their mindset, they love what they have in the farm system. So at least they did make a move where a guy has actually been in the playoffs more than one start. So I don't think they're an F by any means. I'd probably give that a C, C plus. And I definitely think it improved the pitching rotation. So for them not to have to give up the farm system to get a technical upgrade, it's better than some of the teams.
And I'm just go ahead, Matty. I was gonna. Can I just jump? Go ahead. I was just gonna brag you up last week because you said last week that you did not think this was going to be just craziness, and it really overall it wasn't really craziness. So good call on you on that. Go ahead.
All right, I will defend Baltimore. I think Q kind of just hit it there. I don't think I'm going to use the analogy: if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. And they're first place overall in the AL right now. So people have to chase them. And why get rid of these young kids when we can, and this is a bold statement, but we can kind of form a dynasty. Maybe this is the start of it. And then maybe in the off season is when you go out and you get that big number one starter without having to give up your prospects and mortgage anything in the future. I do think this organization has aligned itself perfectly to potentially, and I'm going to use air quotes, potentially build that like dynasty. Although I don't think anybody can do a dynasty anymore, but I think they have the tools to do it. And that's a city that absolutely loves baseball, and they got the market down there for it. So I will defend them. I like Flaherty, and I think that's all they need is an innings guy and a good veteran. I don't think they need anybody flashy to mix in with those young kids. So I think they did it right.
And I'll tell you, with the Pirates, David Bednar, I've been saying it, like if the deal, I think they were asking for a lot, and it just wasn't going to happen. But when you saw Saturday night, and I said this to a good friend of mine on the phone yesterday during the deadline, it was his bobblehead night. He came in and got, like, I think, an inning and a third, and then he's down under the bridge, like down under the overpass, slamming beers with people in Pittsburgh. They weren't trading him. I said, because if they do, they might burn PNC Park down.
And let me chime in real quick.
Hey,
so they traded Neil Walker.
Yeah, but Neil Walker was on his last leg when they kind of got David Bednar still is under contract for a couple more years. Hey, listen, I said to do it. I said to do it. I get it, Jason. Go ahead, Matt.
They traded Koch too.
I've been to a lot of games down there. I've only been to 2 sellouts down there. This one was a sellout. I had standing room only tickets. The other sellout was the opening game for PNC Park, and I've probably been to, I don't know, 100 games in that time frame from the opening of the PNC till now. That's the only sellout, and it was electric when he came. I think he actually got 1 2/3 in. Yeah. I think he got a 5-out save, and they were going nuts. And I heard it from all the Pirates fans.
He's from Pitt. It's like Kenny Pickett, man. When Kenny Pickett played at Pitt, it would go, after they would win and go, I'm gonna go down and slam drinks with people. Man, those people love that. They love it. So I didn't think Mitch Keller, I thought was going to go. Jason, after you hear about the extension talk, I thought Keller was going to go maybe. But I think, again, they have one more year with him. Let's see with Skeens if they can do anything with that. All right, hey, let's bounce off. We got a little bit of time. We want to hit some NFL and some quick college, and then we got to give out the last big golf tournament. Not a big star-studded everything here, but we got the Jets. We got football tomorrow night, fellas. Are you pumped? Q, do a cannonball and show me that you're pumped right now. Let's go.
Hey, I do want to give you a little tidbit. I actually caught it from Kelly in Vegas' show, so I don't want to steal her thunder. But forgive me, I don't remember the gentleman who was on there. He shoots like 70% on the preseason, and he said when you get into games like these, he said there's 2 things that matter: the coaches and the depth. Certain coaches win. The Ravens, John Harbaugh, is 18-0 in his last 18. His ATS is like 16-2 or 15-3. So when he wins, he covers. And obviously, they're not big lines. They're not much 9.5, things like that. We get that. The biggest key is figuring out. Now, there are a few first-year coaches, so obviously you can't really cap those because you just don't know how they're going to be. Look at quarterback depth, look at quarterback races, and look at what head coaches do. When I look at this game, and forgive me, I didn't see the line, give me the Jets, and I'll tell you why. We already know Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starter, but Zach Wilson has something to prove. Zach Wilson wants to show that he's a solid quarterback for this future, because we all know Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play another 10 seasons, theoretically. Zach Wilson either wants to show that he can be traded and be a franchise quarterback somewhere else, or in air quotes, going to make Aaron Rodgers' life living hell. He's obviously, from what I've seen, they say he's been learning a lot from Aaron Rodgers. This is his time to say, hey, I'm actually just as good in his world, or not. When I look at Cleveland, I don't see that. So give me the Jets.
I'm going to go because I actually completely disagree with you. Here's why. I think Wilson is the prime backup, and Rodgers being so old, I don't think he's going to get much time.
He's not playing
at all. So
No,
I actually, you killed it though, Q. So I wrote down, so the line is +2. And then I said, here's the Jets depth chart at quarterback. Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Chris Streveler. That's going to go up against, for Cleveland, Josh Dobbs, Kellen Mond, and here's my kicker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson for the Browns. Yeah, but you might go thumbs down. That dude's going to run around for a half of football and go nuts. He's going to think this is the Rose Bowl game for him and where he can showcase, and hey, how can I get myself on the field? I actually already laid the points. I got Browns money line +120.
All right. We're talking about UCLA here, Matt, so it's more like the Sun Bowl. Come on, Rose Bowl.
True, sorry.
I like the Jets. I see your points. I think Zach Wilson has more to prove than anybody on Cleveland. I think the Jets have to prove that they're legit. That's just where I lay.
I think it's tough because I think both coaches don't like to play people in the preseason. So it's like you do really have to look down the depth charts to see who's going to be out there. They're both rosters are about the same age. Like they have a decent mix of like really young and somewhat old. So it's really tough to call. So I'm going to go with Josh Dobbs because it's for me he plays really well in the preseason because I guess he thinks that's the only time he's going to play. But that's a scary situation there at Cleveland. That's their backup situation.
Yeah.
No, you need a vet. Come on now. You never know when short towel syndrome might come back.
Right.
All right. So let's I'm gonna jump on with Q here. And let's just kind of break it down for the audience here. So you got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow. And you might be going, what are these four guys talking about? They're going to gamble this. Well, yeah, we are, because we're degenerates. And there's nothing else to do on Thursday night. And come on board with us and jump on this and let's bet this. All right. So this opened, Browns were -3. This scores and odds. Now the Jets are favorite, -1.5. The over-under opened at 34, and now it's 33.5. Now, I saw, and I, again, did not write down the guy, so again, please don't sue me because I took your stuff off Twitter. Favorites are 12-4 straight up, 8-5 and 3 ATS since 2005 in the Hall of Fame game. I'm with Q on this. I like the Jets because I like the line movement. Now, I forgot Dobbs went back there. Kellen Mond is supposed to get the start for Cleveland. He hasn't been very good. And Thompson Robinson, and I like what Maddie said about this because, again, that's why I like preseason. Some of these guys have to they gotta make a lot of action happen here, man. And he is a very good athlete. But I like what Q said about the Jets. You look at their quarterback. Now, how much does Zach Wilson get? I hope he plays a little bit because
I think he at least quarter.
I think he'll get score.
I hope he plays, and I agree with what Q said because I think this is a guy that, again, was supposed to come in and save the franchise. Well, he hasn't. And now you get a great veteran, and now you're learning a little bit. Now he's dating older women. His life's good a little bit. So, I mean, he's dating some hot women, older women. Now, maybe he's getting something out of Aaron Rodgers, and I think he does have something to prove here. Now, Tim Boyle, I don't know who that is. I wrote his name down. He sounds like a golfer, Jason. You were talking about Hogan Harris on the tour. Tim Boyle.
Back.
Where did he? Can anybody look him up really fast? Where did he play?
Eastern Kentucky Colonel, sir.
Okay, Eastern Kentucky. Thank you so much. And then I didn't even write down the other guy because I'm like, okay, we need some Zach Wilson. I'm gonna take the Jets tomorrow. I'm gonna just take the money line probably with the JETS Jets and see what we can do tomorrow and try to start the year off with that. Can I throw a little old man in the garage? I was talking to him before I left. He said, "Oh, you got to give me 2 plays on this." I'm like, "Okay, let's fire." I don't know what his research was. Don't know. Maybe he just looked in the cul-de-sac and saw something and just sparked it. I like it. He goes, nope. He's on with like Maddie. He loves the Browns tomorrow. Likes the Browns, and he says a lot of people like the under. He goes, nope, it's going to be an over. So old man in the garage, he's been giving plays for the last couple of years with us. People love him. He likes Cleveland tomorrow night and the over. I'm going money line Jets. Anybody else have anything to say about that?
I'm going to throw in one more thing. I haven't bet it, but I'm going to look at it. there's actually a bunch of really good under the radar DBs playing, especially for I believe it's the Browns, the Mitchell kid. I might look at a defensive touchdown in a game like this and see what you can get. With these bad quarterbacks, who knows? Maybe a little pick six action.
Yeah, I like that little pizza money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Smitty, also, I looked up Zach Wilson's girlfriend, and she appears to be quite young in Instagram.
Oh, he's gone back.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't hurt in the dating category.
No, he doesn't.
That's for sure.
No, he doesn't.
Now, his last girlfriend, let's go in a little bit of relation. We're stealing Jess's info. Maybe, I don't know if she's coming in after us here tonight, but maybe she can break down Zach Wilson's relationships. But he's dated that one girl, and then, like, his former teammates started dating her. So, I mean, there's all kinds of drama going there. And then he was dating his mom's best friend or something. So, again, good for Zach Wilson.
We'll just wait till he's Commander's backup quarterback.
All right, boys. You enjoy the rest of the show. I'm going to bounce out of here like we talked previously. So,
Q, can you do a cannonball? Can you do a cannonball?
Observe
real
water
quick?
safety, please.
Can you set the phone up and do a cannonball really fast?
if I had a swimsuit on, I would.
Oh, okay. I tried, everybody. I thought that was great. Oh, exactly.
Oh, there we go.
Come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
All right,
See you
buddy.
guys.
Hey, safe travels tomorrow, buddy. Safe travels.
Well,
All right, here it's 8:10. We got still golf here, but we're going to jump into a little college football. I'm going to bounce. We're going to break into next week, I think, some conferences, and that's one of our favorite shows to do. We really like breaking down college football here. But let's talk Heisman. Let's see if there's any value out there for the audience with the Heisman. Is anybody on anybody? I have not done a bet yet with the Heisman. I have a couple ideas, and I can't wait tomorrow. My VSiN magazine comes, and those guys do a great job. I can't wait to read that and see what they have. But let's throw it out. Jason, let's start with you, man. Anybody, any odds, anything that you're jumping on? And some people don't like betting futures or anything like that, but I mean, and Jason, maybe he's not one of the guys do it, but they throw a name or two out there. Who do you think can win the Heisman this year?
So I'm a good employee. I usually do not bet the Heisman race. I do like futures in college football. I think there's actually some good value, especially with divisions and win totals. So did a little homework. We talked about this on a texting. So basically, you want to pick somebody who's on a team who's going to finish in the top 5. That has happened 8 of the last 10 times. The Heisman winner. The only 2 exceptions, Caleb Williams. They would have been top 10 if they would have beat Tulane. And then Lamar Jackson, because Louisville fell off a cliff the year he won it, but he also put up 5,000 total yards and 50 touchdowns. So it's kind of hard not to give it to him. So I narrowed my focus there. Try to look for guys like that. So Caleb Williams coming back for USC. A lot of people think he's going to repeat. Obviously, he's going to be pretty good. USC should be in the top 2 of the Pac-10 or Pac whatever it is. Pac-8 by the time we get to this next week. So he's obviously got value. He's only plus 550. That's not enough for me. So I went for some longer shots, and I went with some teams that I know are going to be in the mix. So when I look at that, I look at a Michigan guy.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Michigan guy.
Maddie's ears just sparked there a little bit too. I like it.
So obviously they're going to be in the mix here with the top 10, probably the top 5. Could win the Big Ten. A lot of people are picking them to win Big Ten. So I actually went with Donovan Edwards out of the 3 at 100-1 right now, because to me, the more dynamic back of the 2, Corum coming off an injury. I'm not a J.J. McCarthy fan by any means. I think he's a game manager. And they're going to run the football. The wide receiver core, they have some upside guys, but they don't really have any proven. So it's going to be Michigan football. And give me the guy who's the splash guy. So a plus 100, I kind of like him. So I looked also at Florida State, a team that could be back in the mix, could return. Nah, I don't like the price, but if you look at it, they could be there. So Jordan Travis, a guy who had a pretty good year last year, 14-1, not the greatest price in the world, but I'll look that way. I like McCord, the quarterback from Ohio State, potentially, because all the weapons are there. They should be pretty good. You're getting, I think, 22-1 on him right now. And then I'll go with my own homeboy, Drew Aller. If Penn State can be there, they can knock off Ohio State in Columbus, get to 9-0, and play Michigan at home. He's going to be right there. They had the 2 good backs but they're going to be support. They're still going to throw the football. He'll definitely be the face of that team. So 25-1, decent price. But yeah, I got to have the bigger numbers. I can't take the smaller numbers. So that's my guys I'm leaning at right now. But definitely Donovan Edwards at 100-1, I think is a really good value right now.
Okay, so I just want to jump in here, and I'm going to let you guys go on this segment a little bit, and I'll throw maybe a name or two out. So you're going, I think the last 10 years, there was one running back and one wide receiver. So you're really going. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I just glanced at that really quick. I had it down on my notes, but I just wanted to double check it. So you're really, you threw two running backs out there.
No, I drew one running back.
Oh, no, one running back. I'm sorry. Yeah, you went with the quarterback. Yeah. I'm sorry. So just, do you really think a running back can win this again, or a wide receiver?
Only a handful of schools. So I think it could happen. I think it could happen. It probably can't even happen in Alabama anymore because they've opened up the offense. It could have happened to Georgia, but we'll see what their offense is going to look like. They've really lost their offense coordinator. But Michigan's the only school I really think you can do it. Wisconsin was.
But they're going to be an air raid now a little bit. So, okay.
Yeah, because that makes all the sense in the world. Hey, we got the big behemoths up front. Let's go throw the ball around with really under-talented skill talent. But that's another day. That's a Big Ten day. But those are like two schools that you can win it at. But Michigan is definitely one of them. I think Corum was right there last year, especially when they were doing well. Because nobody on the outside impresses you really that much. And, they feature the running game and the offensive line. And the best way to feature the offensive line or to reward them is a Heisman Trophy winning running back. So, yeah, no. About every 5 years, though, you do get a wide receiver or a running back. It does break up. So, I mean, but you're still getting 100-1, Smitty. So, I mean,
listen, I like all your plays. The Penn State kid, this is the quarterback that they've wanted now for years. I mean, this is the guy that they think's really going to come in. They finally got Sean Clifford out of there. They think this, and the kid's talented. I love your Florida
line they've had since Franklin's been there.
Yes, absolutely.
Wide receiver group's decent. The running backs are really good. Yep. So it'll be interesting. I don't think the defense is quite as good as people think it is, especially up front. So there might be some shootouts. We'll see.
I like your Florida State play.
Yeah,
I like the quarterback. So I got one in the ACC. Okay, Matty, go ahead really quick here, man. What do we have? Heisman talk.
So
Matty, not of mine.
I knew Jason was going to steal my thunder. He actually almost stole it twice. So my first play is Jordan Travis, Florida State.
Oh, and Jason,
yeah, I got him 18-1, but that was about a month ago. But I did look tonight on Rivers; he was 17-1. So the odds are still there, a little better than 14-1. Not sure where you saw, and here's the reasons why I like him. Great returning O-line. They have a bunch of starters back. But even better than that is he's got a wide receiver, Johnny Wilson, going to be probably an All-American, 6'7", 230. He's probably going to be like the next, I'll throw it out there, DK Metcalf type. He's really good. So those odds are terrific. And like Jason said, I think they're in play for the Final Four, which gets him the notoriety. However, your ticket also may be dead by October. They come out of the gate with LSU at a neutral site. If they get that one, then it's going to be stock up. But then they have Clemson, too, the last week in September. If they come out of that with those two wins, then his stock is going to be sky high. And I think he's probably going to be the play to steal it from Caleb Williams. And then I do have a running back along the lines of what you guys were talking about, which I love. Every so often we get that one guy in there, and this could be the Devonta Smith type year. However, he's from Wisconsin, who you guys brought up, and it's Braylon Allen, who's back-to-back 1,000-yard years. I think he's still only 19. He might turn 20 soon.
Very true.
And their schedule is cake. And that West, the Big Ten West, is trash. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he can put together a James White, Ron Dane, Jonathan Taylor type year and come out of there. And who knows? 2,000 yards not out of the question. But the new coaching change does scare me. But his odds were 75-1. That's definitely worth some pizza money.
Yeah, for the price, I like that. I like the player. I like the scheme. We think we'll know.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely the price. I like that.
They were on VSiN today talking about Wisconsin, and I think their win total's 8.5, and they were saying take that. They said that's going to be.
I mean, they have a quarterback finally, so.
Yeah, and I like, again, I didn't really, I told the guys I was going to let them kind of go on this one. I didn't really dive yet in this. I like to try do one of these. I had down the Florida State quarterback. Guys both hit on. And I also had the Clemson quarterback.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's as good of a player.
Klubnik.
Yeah.
Klubnik. And here,
actually, you know what?
And here, let me just, okay, then you can go, Jay. The only reason I like this is because I think everything I'm hearing, Florida State, Clemson's the team that's coming out of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people think Clemson's going to be really good. And if they can get into in the Final Four and they can win that, now they do have a good running back. Does he take away a little bit of that? That's a possibility. So my two guys I had down. Now, Michigan, again, I like it. I mean, I love what Jason said. I think that's a great flyer. That kid's a stud. Quorum, again, coming off an injury. I do like McCarthy a little bit, but I think they're going to run the ball. I think he'll throw here and there. I just don't think he'll put up the numbers again. I think Michigan's going to be really good. Again, Harrison Jr. is another name for Ohio State, the wide receiver. But again, they have so many skill position people that are so good, and then they're bringing into a new quarterback. I think Ohio State's going to be unbelievable, and some people have them ranked like number 2 in the country. But I'm looking for that team that could be, can we go out Pac-12 really quick? I don't think Williams is going to win it again because what is it, guys, really fast? You haven't had a guy win this back-to-back since like 71, I believe.
Archie Griffin.
Yeah, only one time ever.
Yeah. Who else do you have out there? You have Penix Jr. out of Washington, and some people are high on them. Bo Nix.
He'll get hurt.
He'll probably get hurt. Yeah, Bo Nix. I'm higher probably on Bo Nix than a lot of people that I talk to. But, where I'm going, and I was probably going to do it, was the Florida State quarterback or the Clemson quarterback. And you guys hit on those guys.
Real quick, Jason, you brought up Drew Aller for Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know who it was or who posted it or talked about it, but I'm going to use those air quotes again. They say he has the it factor, which Penn State has been lacking forever, and he draws these other kids in. So I think that Big Ten East is just murderer's row right now. And they do have the talent. They have some terrific corners. They have a terrific pass rusher, a great O-line. The running backs are really good. This is the make or break year, I think, for Franklin. But he has not one hurdle to go through. He's got to go through 2, which that's killer.
I'm on high on Ohio State. I mean, they're still really good, but I don't think they're as good as they've been just because you do have the inexperienced quarterback. You've got 2 new tackles there. And the defense is highly recruited, but it has not played that pedigree. When they played really big games last year, they gave up yards. They gave up yards to Maryland. They gave up yards to Penn State. Michigan ran through them in the second half like it was nobody's business. Georgia put up 500 yards on them. So, that scheme didn't take effect last year. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see. But Michigan still just dominated them up in Ann Arbor. Hopefully, they can play better in Happy Valley. Obviously, last time they played there, they should have had that game, and I kind of blew it late.
Yeah, I agree with Maddie what you said there because I was up at that whiteout game last year with when they played Minnesota, and he came in and played a little bit, and that place went nuts. I mean, they want this guy. This is their quarterback. They wanted him last year in there. So, and again, their running backs are top notch. I mean, those 2 running backs are fantastic. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like, I'm a Michigan fan. If you've been following the show for
no one's going to accuse you of being a Penn State homer.
No, I'm not. And I'm not. And I grew up there. I did an internship there in the athletic department. But I'll tell it like it is. If they're good, they're good. And I think this team could be special. I mean, you go up there sometimes and you listen to, and they're like, we're going to win the national champ. I mean, I was up there a couple years ago and Garvey's like, they can't run the ball. They're not winning the national champ. Now they can run the ball. Like this is a team that Penn State's going to be really good. So it's a shame that it's Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State in one side of that. And, and the good thing is, guys, after this year, we're going to expand this because teams like Penn State should get in. These guys can't lose one game and go, they're not in it. I mean, that's a crime. And so, I mean, if you lose to a really bad team, I can see it, but I can't wait until this expands. So, hey, there's some Heisman talk for you. Get a ticket in on somebody. I mean, we gave out some pretty good info there. So, hey, we have about 4 or 5 minutes here. We're going to bust through the last PGA tournament here before the playoffs here. We got the Wyndham Championship, Sedgefield Country Club, North Carolina. It's a Donald Ross design. It's par 70, 7,131 yards. It's a North Carolina. I've played some North Carolina courses. It's a lot of woods. Fairways are kind of tight. It's Bermuda greens, 17 smallest. Again, it's not a very star-studded field here. Man, I was close last week, guys. I got shut out. That's 2 weeks in a row. We got to break this, man. Emilio Grillo was really close for me to cash top 5. Just didn't get there. And that Aaron Rye was really close for me, top 10, but just didn't get there. So I got skunked again. 2022, Tom Kim minus 20. 21, Kevin Kistner minus 15. 2020, Jim Herman minus 21. And then JT, is it Poston? It's Poston, right?
Yep.
He was, man, what a guy in the news, man. He blew like 200 and he blew a lot of money. He went for like an eagle. He needed an eagle and did, I think, a 10 cup situation. And he said, hey, you got to go for the win. I don't care. I mean, some people disagreed with him, but Jason shaking his head. I think he disagreed with them. Really fast. I'm just going off some names over the last couple years. Webb Simpson did not play last year, but 7th, 3rd, and 2nd in this. Yeah. Billy Horschel, 27th last year, didn't play in 2021, 2nd and 6th. Siwoo Kim did not play last year, but 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Sungjae M, 2nd last year, 24th, 9th, and 6th. Henley, I like Henley, Russell Henley in this. We'll see if the guys are on this, but 5th, 7th, 9th, 31st. The only other name I'm going to throw out before I let you guys go, I have not made any bets yet, but of course I'll bet this. McCarthy is one that a lot of people are on this week. Now, Glover was the name you heard last week, and Matty said on the show he didn't like Glover, and Lucas Glover did not make the cut. So good call there by Matty. We'll start with Matt. Any names you're looking at for Wyndham Championship here?
Yeah, I'll try to go quick. So if you're handicapping this event, some key stats. This is definitely an accuracy over distance course. The fairways are really tight, 30 yards and in squeezed. The best stat is approach from 100 to 150. These guys are going to hit, it's target golf, so they're going to give them their wedges in and see what they can do for it. Birdie scoring and driving accuracy, the other ones. But you hit the names. I hate to say it, it's chalk. It's Russell Henley, Siwoo Kim, Sungjae M, all plus 2,000 to win. Crappy Billy Horschel on my no-fly list. It makes the list again somehow. I don't know how this guy finds it on every week. He's on there plus 5,000. And then I'm going to throw in one long shot. Austin Eckroat, really good with the irons, plus 10,000 to win. I don't think he's going to win. I did put a little money on it because I didn't put money on Harmon and still kind of got burned by that, but did win. But I'm going to put a little money on him. And I also think he could actually finish top 20 as well.
Yeah, Austin Eckroat, he's the man on the spot there. He is number 70. So he is in the playoff as of right now. So he needs a good round. So my card, I look for guys who need to get in. And Dylan Wu's a guy who caught my eye last week. He's had a couple good weeks in a row now. I've got him for the top 20 and the top 40 plus 150 and then plus 400. Webb Simpson, who Smitty mentioned, this is a horse for the course. He loves this course. He also needs to get going here. He's 170 right now. I don't even know if he can qualify with a win, but it's got to be really close. But he plays this course really well, so I have him for a top 10 and a top 20. Billy Horschel, as you mentioned, Matty, he's another guy, 116. I think he can make it. So I've got him for a top 10 at plus 450 and a top 20 plus 225. And then my other guy, he's at 126 right now, is Chesson Hadley, who's played really well for the last 5 weeks. I got him as a top 20 at plus 400. Like I said, he's coming in hot. He needs to do something and that's how I approach it this week. I need to see guys on the bubble who can get themselves in, who's playing well, can get themselves out. And that's what Wu and Hadley are two guys who are playing pretty well. Billy Horschel's playing for his lungs, and Webb Simpson's just a horse for the course this week.
Yeah, really quick because we got to get out of here. But I like Russell Henley. I'm going to put this out on Twitter, but Henley's one I'm looking at. Webb Simpson, like Jason just said, again, I've been looking at course history, and I really like that. Billy Horschel was another one. Aaron Rye again. I kind of like him. And then Brandon Todd. If you listen to some people that we've had on the show, they really like him. They said this is a course that he could do extremely well. So look at him to maybe get a top 10, top 20. Look at that. Alex Norn's another one, and Hadwin. I had him to win last week, and he did not. I don't think he made the cut. Jason's doing a big thumbs down. Nope. A lot of people like him this week too. So that's just another name. I'm just trying to throw some names, but McCarthy's one that everyone's on. Henley's one I like. Again, Webb Simpson, Billy Horschel, and that Rye again is another name there. So there's some names for you. Get some bets in on that, and we'll go from there. But, I mean, check our Twitter. We will put it out. Any final comments, fellas, tonight on this lovely Wednesday evening?
Yep. Stay away from Justin Thomas again.
Oh, yeah. We didn't bring up our guy, Justin Thomas, man. He's out right now. He has to do really well.
He's a 79. He's on the outside looking in, and you don't see any signs of him making anything.
No.
He was terrible last week. I wasted money there. I could just burned it.
Yeah, that's just what happened. It's amazing. Sports is one of those things. Like, what happened? Is that guy...
Driver accuracy, man. He's not leaving himself any chance to get close.
No, you got to be top 70 to get in, and then we got the playoffs and everything. So Justin needs a good week. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we say this every week. Check out all the great shows here. Wild Style Network, the Stand Up and Shout, Tribe Called Jess. Until next week, bang your bookie.
Thanks for listening to the Notebook Wagering Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and be sure to follow @Notebook Wagering. Until next time.